Welcome to the Barron's Hideout podcast. I'm your host, Dustin.
And I'm your co-host, Aaron.
And I don't know if anybody can tell, but we're in person now.
Fuck you, COVID.
Yeah, fuck COVID. And I do apologize. It is the 4th of July, and we do have a bunch of fireworks behind us. And unfortunately, I've done everything I can on my part to keep that stuff from, leaking into the podcast, but there's only so much one can do. The movie we are going to be talking about today, and it's the most fitting day of all to do this, is Jaws. And what do you think of the movie, Aaron?
Oh, it was very fun. Like you said, very fitting for the 4th of July, but it's different from your average horror movie.
Oh, for sure. And I know this is obviously not your first time seeing it. It's not my first time seeing it either. But yeah, I was either debating this one. We could have did The Shining, because that's also sort of 4th of July, because there's one picture in there of July 4th. And I believe I Know What You Did Last Summer is also a 4th of July. Well, 4th of July movie that we could have did. But Jaws...
Or Independence Day.
Independence Day is another one we could have did. So we have so many more we can get to on other 4th of Julys. But it's so surreal doing this in person.
I know.
So if things are a little off, it's just because I had to kind of reconfigure everything for a one mixer instead of like two mixers, and then going over on the internet.
2 mics, cameras, over the internet, everything.
So I'm hoping things are going to sound a lot better from here on out, and this is how it's going to be. And if we have local guests, I mean, my room's not that big, but we could definitely get some other people in here. Like, I have a friend who I want to get on the show at some point. But other than that, that's the biggest change that has happened, and I'm very happy that we did it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Is there anything you want to talk about before we jump into the socials and all that stuff? Anything new going on?
Well, as we may have mentioned already, this week, the episode is going to be pre-recorded, as I'm going on vacation. But after that, we'll be full force going back to doing our live streams and every Saturday in person at that. Yeah. So get excited for that.
Yeah, I can't wait. This last 2 or 3 weeks have
been crazy.
Literally crazy. We all went out on vacations, and then we were all working a shit ton. We just been doing a lot of these behind the scenes to get these out to everybody, because we don't want to leave you guys without anything. And another thing I wanted to kind of talk about is there's a new mini series that we started that's pretty much just me talking about newer things that are coming out that Aaron's not able to get to you right away. And it's not full reviews or anything like that. It's just me doing a 15 to 20 minute just talk about whatever it was.
On it.
Yeah, it's called Dustin's Thoughts. And I have a really cool idea of what I want the image to look like on those episodes, so I can't wait to get those made. But the first one I did was on Fear Street 1994. And I'll be doing it for all the other ones that come out, and eventually we probably will be doing a full actual The Barron's Hideout podcast review once they all come out, because it'll be easier that way, I think.
Yeah.
And we can just kind of summarize on all of them instead of going through all of them individually. So that's something that's new in the works. But I guess we'll jump into our socials. And as always, I'm the most active on Instagram now. And that's, I think it's just the Barron's Hideout _podcast. Yeah. And I'm also on Twitter. I'm not as active on there anymore, just because it seems like everything's slowing down on that app and just social media in general. Instagram's pretty much where it's at right now. And that you can find us just at the BHO_podcast. And Aaron is also on Instagram, so if you'd like to fill them in on where they can find you.
My handle on Instagram is at AROBHO, or as I like to always say, AROBHO. That's AROWEBHO. Yeah, I post updates about the podcast and the occasional cat picture. So
who doesn't like cats?
Yeah, right.
And we're also on TikTok, which is really just for promotional reasons. But lately, I've been kind of going off the chain a little bit with some like actual other funny things. But it's mainly just promos. Every now and then, I'm gonna upload something, but there's a really good one in there that's for Liquid Death. So if they're out there and they're listening, we're here. We support you at every podcast. Even outside of the podcast, we are huge Liquid Death fans, and we're going to be watching their movie, Dead Till Death, which comes out. Well, they're live streaming it the 11th. Aaron, I know you're probably going to be away still, so I can just give you a rundown, or if you have time to watch it, you can buy a ticket for like $9. And it's all live streamed, obviously online. So that's gonna be fun.
Dead Till Death sounds like a black metal song.
Dead Till Death, and it's literally just about Liquid Death. That's all it is. It's just about their water, and it's gonna be awesome. It's like 45 minutes, and it's a horror movie. So we got TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, our Patreon. If you guys want to go and support us through there, you can. That's the best way to support us, and that's just the Barons Hideout _podcast. We have 3 tiers there, and they all have a bunch of stuff on them. We're adding more things as we go along, but right now
it's a little bare bones right now, but we're getting there.
But we're doing a lot more bonus content lately to kind of fill in some of the voids that we aren't tapping in right now. So we released like 2 bonus episodes last week. We did obviously our main one, which was Tourist Trap.
Yep.
We did the Halloween Kills reaction trailer.
Oh yeah, that one was fun.
And I did my Dustin's Thoughts. So we're getting a lot more stuff out there for everybody. So if you guys are liking the main episodes, make sure you go to check out all the other little spin-off things, because they're going to be doing a lot more trailer reactions, and I'll probably be putting out at least 1 to 2 Dustin Thoughts a week. Well, depending on what comes out.
We also have merch now.
We do, and if you want to talk about that, Aaron.
Was this was it Teespring?
It's Teespring.
Yeah. Our store is through Teespring. We have T-shirts, we got mugs, we got long sleeves too, right?
Yeah, we got literally everything.
Everything, just about.
Yeah, pillows, wall flags.
You know, who doesn't want my face on their wall?
I know, right? That says because everybody knows, or at least I know, Aaron loves to say and he's definitely getting a lot better, and he catches himself, but that's completely fine. I do it sometimes.
I still think we should start counting them each episode.
Oh my god, yeah. If people want to submit like total from Aaron every episode, that'd be hilarious. I'll make a compilation of it. So is there anything else? That's about it, right?
I think we hit it all.
Okay. I just like to run it through because I always forget something. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep, that's it. And Twitch, which we haven't really been on for like the past like month and a half for our live streams, but those will be happening in 2 to 3 weeks. We'll be doing our live streams over there, which is just twitch.tv/thebaronshideout_podcast. But we can now jump into the goodness of Jaws. For anybody who hasn't seen this movie, you need to go see that right now and stop everything you're doing. Go watch it. It's one of Steven Spielberg's probably biggest movies he's done. I mean, he's done a lot of big movies, but this one, for the time it came out, it broke records.
I mean, it still stands to this day, though. I mean, how can anyone go without seeing this movie?
Yeah, I know. What year was it? 1975?
Yeah.
And the effects on here are actually really good. Obviously, we're going to get into those later on. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think this movie still holds up to this day. It's not something that falls apart due to age. The acting is phenomenal. The set pieces are really good, even though it's pretty much just one town and a boat.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this before we jump in and before we go to our actual final verdict?
I mean,
first time seeing this, when you did see it, what
it was a long time ago.
do you remember what your reactions were or anything?
Not really. I was like young.
Yeah,
but
same.
After like revisiting it though,
Like
I said, it lives up. You know, it still holds up. And it just, I don't know. It's just like.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think
I love
too
it.
because
It's such a classic.
first time I watched this, I think I was in between the ages of maybe 8 and 12, so that's like a big range right there, but it's definitely in between one of those ages, and I don't remember if I was really scared of a lot of the kills that happened until the very end when we have the big kill.
Oh yeah.
That will
We'll get into
get into that, but yeah, I still have like nostalgia when I watch this. Like I still
yeah, it definitely has that nostalgia factor to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, I wasn't born in 1975. I was born in 1993, but still, I watched it, and I kind of get memories of when I was a kid. But now jumping into it, we pretty much start with rolling credits. Like the intro credits with the Jaws theme, and I believe it's underwater, and you're looking at a bunch of like
sea life and
yeah. So it's just like, okay, so we know, okay, it's obviously a shark movie.
We're in the ocean.
And as the theme is going, we jump to this group. I don't know if they're teenagers or if they're just
like college kids or
something like that.
They're young, they're partiers, you know.
So they're on the beach at they're having a fire and they're drinking, and then there's this boy who I don't think we ever know his name.
Tom Cassidy.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I use IMDb. It has like little things that I don't pick up,
Okay,
so.
That's good because I know we have the girl's name. Her name was Christy, and they get together. Well, they stare at each other for it feels like forever.
I don't know. It's just one of those slow motion moments that are just like.
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
Love at first sight.
Yeah, and they're like, okay. The guy is clearly, he's a little tipsy. He's been drinking a lot. The girl looks like she's pretty sober. I don't think she's really drank anything because she's just sitting there alone.
Yeah.
But they make their way over to the main beach, and they're kind of playing around, and don't know if they kiss, but I know that she's pretty playful with him, and they're kind of just like,
being flirty, yeah.
Kind of like doing tag. So she's like, "Oh, let's go in the water." He's like, "Well, we don't have any bathing suits or something like that." I know he says something to her, but whatever. And literally just strips down naked, goes skinny dipping. He's trying to run after her, but he's drunk, and he knows he's drunk too. He even says it.
Passes out.
Yeah. So he's trying to get his clothes off, and she's in there just swimming, and he just passes out on the beach. Doesn't even make it to the water. Very, very close. But as she's swimming, I think she makes it to a buoy or something like that, and she gets grabbed by something. We don't see what that something is. But she's in the water. We're watching a shark movie. She's getting attacked by a goddamn shark.
Yeah.
So she gets kind of thrashed around a lot, and obviously the kid's passed out, and then she just goes under the water. I don't think we see any blood at this point, but this.
Yeah, it's pretty PG.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah, I mean this movie was rated PG, believe it or not. It wasn't going to be rated R until they cut out some stuff, but we'll talk about that later when we get to the facts. Then we jump to the next day where there's a couple who wakes up. We find out during this one scene that he's his name is I forget his first name. His last name is Brody, and he's the police chief, and it's his wife. He's got kids, and then they have this really funny thing because his wife is asking where the kids are. And he's like, "Oh, they're in the backyard," and and then she says that they pronounce yard in Amityville Amityville? Oh my god.
Amityville.
Oh my
god.
Amity Island.
I kept meaning to...
Amity Island. And they say yard. So he says, they're in the yard.
We are in
not
New
too
England.
far from the car.
Not too far.
So he's kind of like, making fun of it or whatever, but they're from New York. So
yeah, but
like,
actually, wasn't it filmed in Martha's Vineyard, though?
It was, yes. So it's a fictional town. It's obviously this movie is based off of a book, and the dude who wrote the book did the screenplay for this also. So like he was a big part of it.
He also has a cameo in that too.
Yes, and we'll get to that. Yeah. So he says the kids are in the backyard, and then they make their way over to the kitchen, and this is what like confuses me. Because like the phone is ringing and the wife is talking to the boys, but he has two phones.
I got two phones.
Did you realize that? Because he was like, he answered the first one. He was like, "Oh, that's not the right one." Oh. And then he picks up another one, and it's just like, "What?"
Wow, he's balling.
So I mean, I wonder if there's like a police line and then
maybe.
a main line. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that would make sense if he's a sheriff.
Yeah. So he gets a call in. We don't really know what it is until he gets to the beach, and then we pretty much automatically know, okay, well, he's here to go and talk to the boy who was with the girl, and he doesn't know where the hell she went, and they think that she ran away or something like that. But he has like another deputy on the far end, and as they're walking, he starts whistling, and they run over to this pile of sand and seaweed, and we don't see anything at first, but their faces are definitely like in shock.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find the girl's just hand like sticking out, and it's covered in crabs.
Ugh.
And it's so creepy looking. Like, just imagine just on a stroll, you might be jogging on the beach, and you just want to sit down for a second. You find this nice place to go and sit, and you look next to you, and it's just a hand
being eaten by crabs,
covered in crabs, and you're just like, what? Yeah, I mean, I kind of remember when I was younger, I think that scene freaked me out a little bit, but not the girl getting thrashed about, just because all you see is her. You don't see any blood or any like limbs being like sawed off,
yeah.
Literally, like sawed off with the teeth and stuff. But yeah. And then he makes his way to the office, and he's kind of talking to, I guess it's his secretary who deals with, all the things that are happening in the town when people need things, and she's like, here's all the paperwork. You need to go to the school because the kids are doing some stupid shit. There's somebody downtown who's doing something stupid, and there's another guy who walks in, and he's like, oh, someone parked at my shop, and he needs to go and move his truck. So it's like, that this town is very like tight knit, and everybody's in everybody's fucking business.
Yep.
And I cannot live in a place like that. I am sorry.
Yeah.
If
that's kind of what Bridgewater was like when I lived there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awful. I don't want to live in a place where everybody's in my fucking business. Like, I need some sort of like privacy, in this town.
Don't move to New Hampshire.
Would just, I'd kill everybody. I would literally kill everybody. So yeah, he's. Oh, and he was also told that it was pretty much a shark attack because the coroner did a quick autopsy. I mean, fucking hand
that came out washed up on shore.
Yeah, and so he's like, before he runs out, he starts doing like the paperwork and typing it out and letting okay, shark attack. So he wants to pretty much close the beaches. So he goes through town, and then he makes his way to a hardware store where even more people are telling him about his problems and being like, hey, you need to go and do this, dude. And he's like, yeah. Like, that's the least of my problems right now. Like, someone just died.
Yeah.
Obviously he hasn't told anybody that because
you don't want the public freaking out.
Yeah, so he goes and picks up like a couple of things of wood, a paintbrush when he knocks over all the other paintbrushes, and like 2 things of paint. And then I think he walks outside.
Yeah.
And goes. Is the deputy there, or is it the mayor that's there?
The mayor.
So I'll let you take it away from here for a little bit when we get introduced to the good old mayor.
Larry Vaughn. All right, so yeah, we meet the mayor, who, as soon as he got word of like what the sheriff's trying to do, he's like, close the beaches. You know, we need to do more investigations. We can't have more people getting eaten by sharks.
Nope.
The mayor. So this is a big like Independence Day is like big for this town. Like everybody comes here for the beaches, and so that's a big money maker for the town, and that's what the mayor's concerned about. He's like, no, you can't close the beaches. It's our most busiest time of the summer. Everybody's gonna be here, and and he tries to convince him that it's not a good reason to basically close the beaches.
Like, I don't. Okay, first of all, I understand this is a small town. I know that they thrive off of visitors coming, because once again, this is based in Martha's Vineyard, which is also, it's literally this, like, they are a place who thrives off of visitors. But it's like, if someone just got killed, I don't care what is going on, postpone it a weekend. I mean it's the 4th of July, so obviously you can't really do that, but I'm pretty sure if you were to tell the public what's going on,
and they're like, we won't go to the beach.
Yeah, it's like, at least close it for a couple of days, let them do what's doing. They can still go to the shops,
clean up.
Like, you make the money on the shops unless they're charging per head to go to the beach, which I know some places do that. Like, especially like in Cape Cod, because we live in Massachusetts, so like if we go to the Cape and you want to go to the beach, a lot of them pay per head. And some of them aren't cheap. Even like the little teeny tiny ones are like, hey, $25 per head.
Oh, that's crazy.
And this is 1975, so who knows how much they were charging back then. You know? But seriously, like, this guy is just from right off the bat, a piece of shit. Piece of shit.
He's convinced it's not even a shark, or supposedly convinced. He probably knows it, but he's just like, all he cares about is the profits, so.
Exactly.
But, so they end up, he talks to the coroner, and he tries to convince him that, it wasn't a shark. He ends up changing the cause of death, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think they want to say it was a propeller. She went into a boat. Like, what the? Yeah, okay, man.
But, and then Brody, he's still, all his main concern, he's the sheriff of the town. He's concerned with people's safety, so he's in the right in this whole situation.
And especially a man coming from New York, what the fuck happens in New York. Like, gang violence all the time,
Yeah, but he just wants to close the beaches and help people out, but he's not allowed to because the mayor says so. Fucking dick. But anyway, over the next few days, though, you get lots of tourists naturally, and the beaches are full. Like, if you look at the scene, like, there's people like 2 feet apart. I'd be fuck that shit. I would just drive off. I'm all set with the.
I don't like going to the beach as it is.
Me either.
I hate the beach. I hate the sun.
I don't do
well
with
heat.
heat.
So bad. Like, even on my vacation, I came back and I was a freaking lobster. It's awful.
But so their beaches are full though, and Birdie's starting to get worried, of course, and but about another shark attack.
Yep.
And they do happen on over here in New England with space, so it's like
within like I want to say the last 5 years we've
had a few
like sharks here, and we like beaches were
mostly
closed.
down the Cape, but so anyways. Him and his wife, they're on the beach, and he's searching the beach looking for trouble, and damn it, sorry, my screen blacked out. But so, and then his son, not son, sorry, the some other lady's son, Alex, he wants to go swimming, and his fingers are. She tells him his fingers are pruning, so you can't go.
Telltale sign of you've been in the water for too long. So
yeah, right. So he's like, she tells him 10 more minutes, and they end up going to the ocean one last time. But and then so he's on his little raft, and he ends up getting swallowed by what must be an enormous shark, right?
Yeah.
So everyone,
Because, dude,
the scene is funny.
Watching this again, because I watched it last year and it kind of, my memory, kind of forgot how some of the kills looked.
Mm-hmm.
But watching this one, because you're about to get to the part where he gets killed, right?
Yeah.
So just watching this, because it's from far distance, so you're kind of seeing it through Brody's eyes or like other people, because he's like watching the water like a goddamn hawk. I mean, I would too, knowing something just happened and there's a bunch of people in the water. But you see a fin and then a giant mouth just close on this kid. And it is so brutal. And blood everywhere. The kid is he's dead like on impact.
He looks like
so
strawberry
crazy.
puree.
Yeah. And everybody's like in the water like, oh fuck. Run.
And yeah, they're like swimming in this blood for a minute too, and then they realize and they're like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
dude.
So yeah, everybody's freaking out, running out of the water. And this poor mother is just calling out for her son, like amidst all this like craziness, and he doesn't come back. You see his raft wash up, and
it's really sad, man. Because like I'm a father too, and just like putting me in her shoes it's scary. Like I don't want my son going in the water after watching this.
Yeah.
And my
son's
I don't even
3,
like the ocean. So yeah, me either. I'd rather swim in a pool.
Yeah.
It's all confined.
Oh. But yeah, so there's lots of people who saw that shit go down. Everyone, the whole beach is in a panic. So, there's definitely got to be a fucking shark. They just saw them chomp this kid. Yeah. So, he's finally allowed to close the beaches. Because how is that not evidence enough?
I know. In fact, the mayor still said, like, yeah, that's not a shark. He just got hit by a boat. Like, if he did that one again, I would be like, nah, dude. And, like, they even put, I think, a bounty out for the shark, too, which was, what, like...
$3,000. Yeah, the mother, she's like, anyone who can kill the shark who killed my son. Yeah, so then there's a town meeting, about the shark problem, and Brody is he's talking about how the police station is putting more effort into solving the issue and hunting sharks, basically.
So far we've only seen 2 people, which is him and his deputy that work at the police station, so it's very small. I feel bad for him, to be honest.
Yeah, right. All that responsibility. I couldn't do it. So so they're trying to catch the shark, and they're also bringing in a shark expert from the Oceanographic Institute.
Yep.
So most of the people from town, they're more concerned with money, honestly.
I mean, like, in a way, I would be too, knowing what time it is, but still, like, knowing that
but
nobody
2 people
is safe.
Were killed, yeah.
Nobody is safe. Just stay out of the water.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to do that when you're surrounded by water, but just let somebody do something to,
they're just
fix
pissed
the
about
problem.
the beaches. I said bitches.
The bitches are just closed.
Life is a beach.
Yeah, no, right.
No, they're just pissed about the beaches being closed.
Excuse me while I open up a liquid death.
Liquid death. But anyways, the mayor goes on, no, it's only 24 hours.
Yeah, and Brody's like, I don't freaking agree to that. Like, that's not what we talked about.
Yeah.
It's fucking mayor, dude. He's just like a kiss ass. Literally.
Yep. He'll get what's
and the funny thing is that you can tell he's afraid.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. He is
You don't
scared.
see him in the water.
No. No. And he knows what's happening, and he's still afraid. Fucking coward kiss ass.
Yeah.
Throw him in the goddamn water. Use him as bait.
Yeah, right.
Let Brody be the mayor. He'd be a better one.
Yeah. So, like, then you get this classic, like, scene where it's, like, you got the old dude sitting in the corner. It's, while everybody's just, like, angry and yelling, he's just like, I'll kill the shark. Or, I forget exactly what he says. But,
yeah, he pretty much says that.
But he's like, I'll kill the shark for $10,000.
Oof, that's a lot of money back then,
right?
man.
But so, anyways, this is a local fisherman, by the way. Which he's actually, from what I've read, was actually a resident of Martha's Vineyard.
Well,
one of the guys.
I have a fact right here. I can tell you about it. So, Robert Shaw, who plays Quint, who is the shark killer, because he kills sharks for like the town, to sell like the jaws. We see that later on, like he sells like the teeth and everything. But he so he based his performance off of another.
That's what it was.
Of somebody who plays the character Ben Gardner, and the guy's name is Craig Kingsley. So he's an actual resident of Martha's Vineyard, and he helped Robert Shaw develop the accent that he uses in this film, and I think he does an amazing job. Robert Shaw, anytime he's in frame, he fucking steals the show, and I want to go back and watch some of his other movies, because like I've always heard that Robert Shaw is a very good actor, and I don't think I've ever seen any of his other stuff, and this movie definitely proves that he's like top tier, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
but
you had the right idea. You just got it mixed up. I understand.
But yeah. So, anyways, nobody, goes for it, but he's confident. He's gonna kill that fucking shark. My bad. So now with that $3,000 bounty from the mother, once that word gets out about that, lots of shark hunters started showing up as well. So this place, where's everyone staying? They can only have so many friggin' hotel rooms available.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of local people. Like we even see people like holding fucking like dynamite and shit.
And they're like throwing it in the water.
It's like, what are you doing, man? Shit.
Yeah, so they're all they're coming from all over, and there's two guys who try to lure him in with pork roast.
Dumbest idea.
Which ends up, one of them becomes the shark's third victim.
Well, almost.
Almost, yeah.
So, it's literally like two fucking drunk assholes. Well, they're not really drunk, but they might as well be drunk, and they're out at night, and they're coming back to a dock, and they're like, oh, we had this great day. I stole my fucking wife's roast, so they're like, this better work, or she's gonna get pissed. So they throw it out there, and they tie like the rope to the end of the dock, and it's a wooden dock, and the shark grabs onto it, and the guys are like, oh, we got it, man, we got it, and then the whole goddamn dock just collapses because this thing is strong, and the guy like slides down, and like his buddy is still on the dock, but he slides into the water, and his I think his foot is caught. Is it? I don't know if it's caught or if he's just on the board that's floating.
I think he's like just like stuck on a floating. Like he got like caught in the part that broke.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. And he's an older guy, so he's far out, but he has to like swim back. And this shark is fast because all we see is just the end of the dock turn, and knowing that the shark is going back to get him because that was not enough food. One little roast.
That's an appetizer for
him.
For
like one giant shark. No. So the guy's like, his friend's like, oh, come on, man. Trust me. Don't look behind you. Just keep coming. It's just like, oh, great. You telling me that, I'm going to be even more scared. Like, might as well just kill me now.
That means the shark is behind me.
Yeah. And he manages to get back to the end of the dock where he can kind of climb up, and his buddy grabs his hand, and right at the end, he makes it up. He almost dies. It was very close. But my memory fooled me because I thought he did die.
Me too.
When I was watching, I was like, oh, yeah, this guy's about to die too. I remember this. And I was like, oh, wait, he doesn't die. He gets out. So, lucky him. Idiot. Don't fucking do that again.
But, yeah. So, and then we end up meeting Cooper.
Another really, really good performance.
Yeah. Who is the shark expert mentioned before. And after meeting with Brody, the sheriff, he ends up getting to look at the remains of Chrissy, which it's just a fucking hand at this point, but
yeah, it's funny because they talk about it. They're like, oh, there's a torso and an arm and a leg, but all we saw was
just the hand.
the hand, and we don't really see what he's looking at. It's covered, and I think it was for the rating that they were trying to get, which was PG. It wasn't going to be rated R, and PG-13 wasn't established until Raiders of the Lost Ark, I believe, which was another Steven Spielberg movie that made the PG-13 rating, because I think that one was the heart. I always get that confused. Is that the heart or the melting face? Because they're two different
there's
ones.
also a propeller scene in one of them too. I can't. When one guy gets put, like, they're fighting and he gets fucking obliterated by a propeller.
I need to go back and like rewatch all the Indiana Jones movies.
Me too. I haven't seen them forever.
I don't want to watch Crystal Skulls. I hated that one. It was awful. But all the other ones are really good. Yeah. But back to Jaws. Yeah. Hooper. I can take over for a little bit, Aaron. Okay. So Hooper he's a Jaws expert, but as he's looking at the remains, like, he's about to freaking like faint, because he's like, this was not a small shark. This thing had to have been really big, due to the bites that it did, and like the corners in there as well. But he's kind of like off to the side, like not really paying attention to what they're saying, because I don't think he wants to know the actual truth, because he's the one that agreed with the man to be like, yeah, it was just a boating accident. Idiot. So they and while they're doing this too, like, all the other like shark hunters are out like throwing random dynamite in the fucking water, and coming out there with like guns and stuff. And this scene, when they're going out there, we actually see the Craig Kingsley character who's like the real person who plays Ben Gardner, the one that Quint based his character off of. He's in that scene. But Brody and Hooper, they leave the office, and we see a bunch of people come off a boat carrying a shark, and they are like, hey, we got it, we got the shark. And Hooper, obviously being the shark expert that he is, he goes over there, he looks at it, he's not really saying anything. Even Brody is like happy, he's like, oh, we got the shark. Like, he's even convinced that it was the right shark, and congratulating everybody. Even the mayor's like, oh, you did really good, we got to take pictures and whatnot. And Hooper's trying to do measurements on the jaw, because he kind of knows from looking at the body parts like how big the jaw would have been to do what it did. And then they take their pictures or whatever, and then Hooper goes over to Brody. He's like, sorry dude, that's not the shark. And even like the mayor's like, yeah, it is. It's the shark. They caught it right here. We got to tell everybody else. He's like, well, there's only one way to be sure, and in sharks, I guess they have a really slow digestive
digestive tract.
Oh my god, digestive tract. Sorry, I had to try to say that. So he's like, if we cut it open, we can see if the
boys
of the boys in there and whatnot. And the mayor's like, listen, boys, you guys can do whatever you got to do. Just don't do it here, because we don't want that obviously all over the news and everything. And then, as everybody's kind of going away, the mother of Alex comes and talks to Brody and is like, how dare you? You knew that there was somebody already killed. I think it was like, what, a day or two before?
Yeah.
And she's like, you didn't close the beaches or tell anybody, and now my son is dead because of you. And honestly, it's not his fault.
No.
Like, I see where she's coming from, but if there's anybody who she should be going after,
the mayor
is the mayor, because he's the one that calls the shots. Yeah, he's the authority, but he's only so much.
Yeah.
Because the mayor's like, well, I don't want you doing that, because you're gonna cost me money and whatnot. So It's like, I understand where she's coming from. I would be really upset too. But damn, man, go after the fucking mayor.
Right. But yeah, like you said, though, I see where she's coming from as just like, as a sort of a victim in the situation.
Yeah. But, and I think maybe her husband was there too. They're an older couple, so like, she can't have kids again.
Yeah.
Like, she must be, I want to say, maybe in her 50s.
Yeah.
And like, by then, can't really have kids again.
Yeah.
So like that was like her one kid. Like if she could have another one, even though I don't know if she would want to, she would have the option, but she doesn't with the age that she's in. So it sucks for her. Then we kind of cut to the night, and Brody's at home with his wife. I think his son is there, and his son's like looking. I think it's this part where he's just like looking at Brody and copying everything that he's doing, because obviously he's had a long day.
Yep.
And he definitely looks exhausted. They just had dinner, but didn't really look he ate much. So his son's just kind of playing with him, and he kind of catches on with that. And then he goes to bed. Then Hooper shows up and asks if Brody is home to his wife, and she's like, yep, and he wants to talk to him. And she's like, oh, I would too, because obviously he's so kind of closed off at this point, because there's so much shit going on and so much blame on him, and I would understand like the pressure that he has, and trying to figure out what he needs to do to keep the people safe. It's a lot for one person, you know.
Oh yeah.
And like the mayor's not doing shit to do anything.
For a whole ass town by yourself.
So he's in there, and he sits down. He brings wine. He's like, yeah, I brought like red or white because I didn't know what you guys wanted. And this is really funny because he goes to the table, and they start talking, the three of them, the wife, Brody and Hooper. I don't know the wife's name. I forget.
I don't think it mentions it.
So Brody takes the red wine and starts pouring it out to his wife and Hooper. And then he just has a glass and he fills the whole thing up. He's just like, yeah, this guy is like, he's like had it. So he's just drinking the whole thing, and Hooper's like eating his dinner and everything. He's like, hey, let's go cut open that shark. Because he goes and says like what kind of shark it was and some other like lingo and whatnot. So they go over to the dock, and I believe they cut it open at this point, right? Yeah. They go back and they're like, yeah, this isn't the one. It's just a tiger shark. It has like a license plate in it because he knows, so he knows like where it came like from.
Fish, license plate from Louisiana at that.
Yeah, it's like wow. And I think they decide to go on a boat. And Brody, keep in mind, he doesn't like boats. He doesn't like water. Weird that he's even where he is.
Right.
I think he probably did it because he thought it was going to be an easy job or whatever, depending on what his career was in New York. I didn't really get a lot of background on that. Mm-hmm. But maybe you do in the book. I'm not entirely sure. I never read the book. So they go on Hooper's boat, which is super high tech. It's got like
all the shark tracking technology.
Yeah, like scanners, fish trackers, a bunch of other like sonar shit.
Like spears and shit too, right?
Yeah, and you can tell Brody's like, I am not drunk enough for this. I think he even says that. So they make their way out to where they believe the shark is kind of quote unquote nesting. I guess like it's where he's like feeding and like kind of staying in that one area to have dominance or whatever. And then Hooper's like, I gotta go check out this boat, because they get up on a boat and there's a bunch of like barrels and shit like outside of it, and you can tell the boat's been damaged at some point. So he's like, I gotta go out there, I gotta check the hole. And Brody's like, that is Ben Gardner's boat. So they were out earlier trying to catch a shark. So they were probably out a lot later than they needed to be.
Yeah.
We're doing something stupid and got attacked. And we see that when Hooper goes below in the water. He puts on his wetsuit and all the other crap that you need to go into there. He goes to the hole, and Ben Gardner just floats out, and he's dead. And Hooper's like freaking the hell out. He's like, we gotta get out of here. So yeah, we got what's that? Victim number 4?
3 or 4?
3 or 4. No, I think it's 3 because it was the girl, Alex, and then Ben.
Because that was almost that third one in the last scene.
Yeah, but, and another thing, I guess Hooper found a tooth as well, but he got scared from Ben and dropped it, and that was going to be good evidence to be like, hey, it was a shark, and it was this big, and this is how big the tooth was, so this is the size of his jaw, and it could have been like relevance of what it could have been. So they go back to the mayor and tell him that the shark's not the right one. He says Ben Gardner's dead, and there was a shark tooth, and he's like, well, where's the shark tooth? Like, well, I dropped it. Like, oh, What a shame. Like, this guy he sucks. Like, he doesn't want to, like, just agree and be like, yeah, you know what?
He doesn't want to
You're
admit
right.
he's wrong. Yeah.
And
He's stubborn.
It's really annoying because I want to punch this guy
I
so
know,
bad.
Just the arrogance, just.
Yeah, it's so bad, man. But then they're like, okay, well, we need to get some backup because you're not obviously going to close the beaches, so we need to get people. We got to get, like, I don't think they get the Coast Guard, but they might, because there's a bunch of people on boats and airplanes and a bunch of other crap, so they get, like, the backup they need to, protect or try to protect the public.
Yeah.
So everybody comes, and Aaron, if you want to talk about the craziness that happens next.
All right. So, so it's Independence Day weekend.
Yep.
And everybody, there's plenty of tourists, of course, like you said, but nobody's in the water. Everybody's just sticking to the sand, and
I would be too. I would be like, nope, no, thank you.
The mayor's freaking out. He's like, oh shit, people are catching on. They're not going into the water. This fucking pisses me off. This part, this dude. Anyway, and then he goes up to one of his friends, and yeah, so he's like, going to the water with your grandchildren and your wife, and they, so everyone will feel better about going to the ocean, and so they're like, yeah, but they go for it, and everyone sees them going to the water, and they start following them into the ocean.
Asshole, man.
This fucking dude. So Brody's on the beach. He's on shark patrol. And his son Michael. He's like, oh, I want to take my new sailboat into the water. And I want to go play with my friends. And he's like, so he's like, take it somewhere else. But so just to be safe. And he's like, okay, fine. Anyways, you see a fin pop up in the water. This part's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But just like in the middle of all the people swimming in the water, and everyone starts freaking out.
I would be too.
And just it's just like craziness at this point, and people like trampling each other, trying to get back onto the beach, and then a police boat pulls up, guns in hand, and the shark emerges, and it's just a couple of little boys fucking with people.
I was confused because at first I thought it was Michael, but it's not. Because the kid looks exactly like his son Michael, but it's not. It's just two random kids.
Yeah.
So I thought like he was when they were going over to the pond where his dad asked him to. I thought they were changing into the suit.
Yeah.
But we find out in like 2 minutes that it's just two random kids just being stupid.
And the look on the kid's face too when he comes up and the guns are just pointing at his face.
Yeah, he's like, oh man.
He's like, I'm sorry, he told me to do it.
Arrest that kid.
But yeah, I laughed at this part. It was funny. But anyways, so everyone starts to chill out again because they're like, oh, it's a false alarm. But there's one woman, she ends up seeing the shadow of a big shark, and it's coming up fast to where Michael and all of his friends are hanging out, and she yells, and everyone's like, she's just fucking with us, and then Ellen, who's Ellen? Sorry,
Ellen might be the wife.
Oh yeah, I think that might be the wife. Then oh yeah, she reminds her husband that he's at the pond. He goes to check it out, and Michael and his friends are approached by a guy in a rowboat, who's telling them how to like tie knots or something like that, I think. And then all of a sudden they're both just like fucking attacked.
Yeah, they get
Sorry, Puppet Master.
they get bumped, and poor dude. Poor, like, just one old man is talking to the kids, doesn't make it out. Everybody else does besides him. He gets his fucking like leg chopped off.
Yeah.
And you just see it floating. And I think that was one of the scenes that I was reading that they had to cut short. That they were going to show more of like what happened to him, but they just show the foot in the water, which I think does.
I mean, it still works,
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But yeah, so his son just witnessed some guy just get torn apart by a fucking shark.
Mm-hmm.
So they're brought to shore, and he gets taken to the hospital to be treated for shock. I mean, I'd be fucking petrified too.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the other kids were okay.
Yeah.
You know, I would be probably passed out just like Michael, and
Yeah.
maybe unless they didn't see what Michael saw, because Michael was literally right next to the shark and the guy, and I think the other kids were on the other side, so maybe they didn't see.
He just saw it firsthand,
the amount of detail that that happened to that poor dude.
Yeah. Damn. But so Brody goes to talk to the mayor again, and he's like, we need to fucking close the beach. We need to do something,
Yeah, and it needs to happen, dude. Like, too many people have died. That's 4 people.
Yeah, he's like,
in like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, like there's an issue. They gotta do something about the shark.
Yeah.
But so the mayor, he's like actually fucking. He's like, okay, he's starting to realize.
Yeah, I think he even says my family was on that beach. Like, well.
Yeah.
If you know what's going on,
then why are you promoting everyone to go into the water and go hang out?
What if that was your kid? Like,
that's what. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Like, it was almost the sheriff's son. He would have been pissed, and
Yeah, luckily, because he has 2 sons. The younger one wasn't in the water, but
yeah.
Just imagine if he was, and he was the one that got eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, shit. I just want to punch him so bad.
I know.
But the thing is, he does such a great job of being a fucking asshole.
I know.
Like, the actor, he does such a great job.
If somebody can convince you to hate a character, that's how you know they're a good actor.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
oh my god, man.
But yeah, so he realizes he's like, oh shit. He's like, my family was on the beach. That could have been my family, and
Well, I mean, if he closed the beach, it's the fucking first time, asshole.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm sorry. This gets me so pissed. So pissed. Because this could happen. The thing about this, too, is it could happen anywhere.
I know.
Like, there could be a shark attack, and there could be that one guy who's, like, controlling everything, and it says, nah, we're going to keep it open. And more people will just die. Like, shit. And we got a ton of fireworks going off, so this is kind of cool, but not really, because fireworks are really annoying.
It's a nice effect. But yeah, this fucking guy. Sorry, I lost my place.
Yeah, I think Brody has to have him sign a voucher.
Yeah, yeah. So he finally gives in. He lets him close the beaches, and yeah. So then we come back to Sam Quint, who is just they hire him right away. They're like, all right, we'll take you up on your offer.
He's like the only person who has some sort of knowledge of what to do, and you can
experience,
tell that he's equipped, because when they go to his warehouse, it's pretty well-oiled machine, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like shark jaws and teeth and everything. He's like boiling.
He's making soup out of fucking.
Like, fuck, man. This guy knows what he's doing.
But so, anyways, Brody is on the beach. Oh wait, nope. I was on the wrong part. So, yeah. So he's killed a few sharks in his days.
Definitely.
So he's like, I'm gonna go alone on this. But Brody, he insists that he and Hooper go with him. So.
I mean, he's the one that like signed the voucher, so he wants to make sure what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Actually going to do the job and not just be an asshole.
Yeah.
Take the money and run.
But
understandable.
Right away though, between Hooper and Quint, they're not really getting along.
Yeah, I like the chemistry though, because I think Hooper is trying to be friends with him, but Quint is just so serious in his job that he doesn't take shit. Like when he wants something done, he needs it to be done.
Yep.
And he doesn't want people fooling around, and especially on his boat, since he's like, I'm gonna be the captain, and you guys are gonna listen to me and do everything I say. You guys can come along, but you need to listen to me.
Yeah,
and I understand
that's usually how it works on boats, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you don't have to be such an asshole about it, but yeah, that's usually how that shit happens.
Yeah, but I guess with the seriousness of the situation too, though. But although he's probably just in it, he's like, I've killed sharks. That's just an easy 10 grand for me.
Yeah, and he doesn't really know the size of it. I mean, well, the thing is, Hooper has an idea of what it is, but he's still not even like 100% sure.
Yeah,
he
just
they
has guesses,
really fucking see the thing, and they're just like,
yep.
Shit. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. One of those that famous quote very soon. There's a lot of good quotes coming up that I think I wrote down just to make sure we got them.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So Quint sees him as like kind of snobby and just rich. But he doesn't have any shark hunting experience. And Cooper sees Quint as just like reckless and like just
Yeah, complete opposites, but I love it. It works so well.
Oh, I know. But so yeah, Hooper ends up proving himself, but it's oh sorry, but as you can tell, there's still like tension between them.
Yeah,
but the scene on the boat together is kind of like when they go on the trip is fun.
I just love how like Brody, his task is to literally just like toss out chum.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you need to make the chum line, my dude. Like that's, come on, sheriff, you gotta pull your weight. And Quint's is sitting in a chair, just like, yep, everybody's working around me, and you guys.
He's the captain.
Yeah, and I think Hooper is doing something with the sail, or whatever, trying to get us on course.
So yeah, they're on the Orca now at this point, out at sea, and
cue the Ice Nine Kills music.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so they're chumming the.
Damn, I should have played
ocean.
that in the intro.
Oh, I know, right? That would've been perfect.
Maybe I'll put in like a little segment of it in here somewhere.
But yeah, so they're oops. I don't like this touchpad. It sucks on my computer.
He's going through like the notes over here, and it just like jutted like almost to the top of the thing.
So yeah, he's dumping chum off on the boat, and then Quint he gets piano wire and attaches it to a rod against a fishing chair. So like probably just to bring it in so he's stable, but anyways, they're waiting. Wire gets pulled and ends up snapping. And you see shark just right under the boat. And just disappears. They realize how strong it is. But they can't. He's gone now.
And like also his setup too is so badass. He's got this one chair.
Yeah.
He's got his big ass like.
It's almost like a fishing
pole.
It's like a makeshift one.
Yeah, and it's got a huge reel on it, and then he like straps himself in. He's like all like ready to go to like withhold with tension and be able to like reel things in. Like this guy means
the fact
fucking
that he used
business.
Piano wire too, like
like he uses really thick shit, and he's a badass. Like I want this guy to be on my boat.
Right. You listen to this dude. He knows his shit, but. Yeah, they don't see the shark for a while, and Brody oh wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Here we go.
You good?
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a few hours. There's no sign of the shark. Brody's continuing to do chum, and then he sees the head of the shark briefly just come out of the water. He's like shocked. Like he's like, that thing's fucking big.
I would be too. Like, and the thing is, when he's doing it, he's just talking to the other guys. He's not really paying attention, and then you just see like emerge and almost bite his hand off. Like, dude, I would be in shock from that.
So Hooper starts to see it circling the boat, and then Quint comes out to go check it out.
Yep.
They end up estimating it's 25 feet long. That's a big fucking shark.
Yep.
So weighs 3 tons. That ton is what, 2,000 pounds, 6,000 pounds,
something like
right
that.
there.
Yeah, it's super big, and then we get the famous quote from Brody. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. And Quint is, I don't think he really says anything to it, but he does give him a look like, nah, we're good.
We're fine.
Nah, dude.
So, Quint yells at Brody and Hooper. And he starts shooting harpoons tied to barrels that will float so they can track them.
Yeah.
And
I think it's also, I was kind of confused. Even like the first couple of times I've watched this, I was confused. Like, what are the barrels for? And apparently, it's to keep whatever they're trying to capture. It doesn't have to be shark. It could be anything. They put it onto said fish, and it's to keep them closer to the surface. Because I guess because obviously things are really heavy underwater, and depending on what it is, it's gonna have to. To
if
surface.
If it's
so they're doing it to keep the thing close
from going too deep.
Yeah, and from like escaping, which I think is a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
I was confused about that too.
Yeah. That is smart. But so they end up hitting him with like 3 harpoons, and the barrels aren't stopping this motherfucker. So he pulls him underwater, and but Hooper ends up managing to put a tracking device on it before he gets away.
Yeah, I was confused. Like, how is he using that? But I think it's just by the sound. Because I don't think. I mean, obviously his boat had a bunch of shit on it, but I don't know how advanced tracking devices were back then.
Yeah,
it is very loud. When, like the beeping noises for it, but
so it could just be like sound waves that they detect underwater, because that's what the radar is probably for.
Yeah, and I think another reason why they wanted to do the barrels is because was trying to take pictures, and I think he wanted barrels to be out there for scale to see how big the thing was. So I think that's another reason why they're doing it. So there's a couple of reasons why they were doing the barrels, but either way, it's a good idea.
Yeah, these guys are pretty smart now that you think of it, but well, Quint is.
Yeah.
Anyways, he gets the tracking device on. They don't see the shark for a while, but then they start just like drinking and eating and just having a merry old time.
Talking about wounds.
Yeah. Forgetting that they're hunting sharks.
For a good minute.
Yeah. So, and they actually start to get along, and they're comparing scars and all that stuff. And then Brody notices Quint has a tattoo removed, and he's like, "Oh, that's from the U.S. Navy cruiser, Indianapolis, which was in World War II, I believe he said."
Another really fun fact about this too that I read, apparently a lot of the stuff that Quentin is talking about with the Indianapolis is he kind of just came up with it on the spot, and it was just talking, so it's not like.
Oh yeah, I heard a lot of his lines where like just
improvised and stuff. But there is a story of like the Quint character in the book talking about him being
like on a ship and
they're going through this, but it's not to the extent that the Quint in the movie talks about. So he adds a lot of stuff to it too, give it more depth, and it's
a
pretty
little background.
It's pretty fucking
convincing.
Haunting. Yeah, and another. I have a shorter quote here, but another one. I was just telling the story about like how he was delivering like a bomb and stuff, and he was
the A-bomb,
all the stuff. It's the thing about a shark. He's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes, and it's just that gives you chills because it's like, damn, it's so true. Because like if you go to a museum or something, or if you're at an aquarium and you see sharks, like their eyes are so dead.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And apparently there was 1,100 men that were on there, and he says it was only 316 that made it out.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them were just killed by sharks. Like that is absolutely ridiculous.
Terrifying, honestly.
And he's like saying how he had like a somebody like in a bunk next to him when they were trying to, when everything was like being flooded, and I don't know if they were trying to get rest or whatever, but he was like trying to like wake the guy up.
Yeah.
And apparently he was just like eaten in half.
Jeez.
Like his torso was like gone or whatever. It's like, damn, man, fucking crazy.
What?
And then they start singing, I believe, right?
Yep. Yeah. So they're singing. They're all drunk, and so they're trying to have a good time, but the shark's back, and the boat just
it's like ramming into the side of it, and then not even. I understand that some of them are drunk. Maybe not Brody. He's probably seems like the one that's still kind of like level-headed and here, but the other two are definitely gone. And it's just ramming into the side a bunch of times. You think this one hit would probably break it because of the size of this goddamn shark, but no.
It's the orca.
It makes its way through the hole. I mean, it doesn't completely drown. I mean, sink the boat, but you can tell there was some pretty serious damage.
Yeah, and they lose power and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Quentin rushes out to the deck and he starts shooting a rifle at it. At the barrels, and but again, the shark escapes. He likes to toy with them.
Yeah, it is an apex predator.
Yeah, but then we cut to the next day, and they're trying to fix the boat.
Oh yeah, and I can take it for a little bit for one, Aaron.
Okay.
So yeah, as they're fixing the boat, we got Quentin Hooper. They're down, I guess, in the engine or whatever it is, and they're trying to get the pumps to work to kind of get all the water out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Brody is just kind of out, just looking. He's like, "Well, the shark is coming back," and it definitely it comes back all right, and they're trying to kind of save the rest of the boat before it like slams. So I think they're trying to get more barrels on the goddamn thing. And as that's happening, Brody. Brody goes to try to make a phone call with the radio, and fucking Quint just comes in with a bat or whatever and just breaks the goddamn radio. And it's like, why? Like, wouldn't you want some sort of help just in case? Like, I understand you want to get the shark, you want to be the one that you can tell everybody like, hey, yeah, I killed this fucking thing or whatever, but still, like, let him call the Coast Guard just so they know where you are, just in case something bad does happen. And bad shit happens, man. Like, I hate to break it to you, but it does that. It gets really bad, and I think at this point they have like 3 or 4 barrels in the goddamn shark now.
Yep.
Not doing shit. They're like, oh, it's gonna be fine. There's no way it's gonna go under. It's approaching the boat.
He just pulls it under.
Just goes under, and they're just like,
whoops.
Oh shit. This thing is fucking strong. And then Brody, as it goes on the other side, he pulls out I guess he has like I think it's like a revolver.
Yeah.
That he has on him. He starts shooting it, but he's missing a bunch. He hits it like once, but it's like, dude, if the harpoons aren't fucking doing anything to the goddamn shark, I doubt a bullet the size of like a peanut is gonna do anything,
Yeah.
And then Quint asked them to get because they have to every now and then pull in the ropes from the barrels to kind of get the shark to be attached to the boat so they can bring it to shore. So as they're doing that, I understand like at this point like things are very hectic and they're trying to get it done, but poor Hooper, he gets his fucking like ass squished because he like ties like the rope around him, and then the shark like, well, I don't know if it's just a shark, but the lines get really tight.
Yep.
And the poor dude like almost fucking like breaks in half because of Brody's stupid mistake. And then at this point, the shark, they have the boat going forward and like, okay, yeah, we got it, we're good, man, we're gonna go. And then they're like, oh shit, the shark is pulling us. And like as that's going on, like the handles or whatever the hell they're called, the rope ties, they're like pulling out of the thing, and Hooper's like, dude, it's gonna break the boat. It's breaking the boat, and like the poor engine's already kind of fucked from earlier because it was flooded, and then Quint's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So he just goes and grabs a freaking machete off the wall and just like cuts the rope, and they're like, God damn it. And then this is the big, pretty much this is the climax, even though it's the end of the movie and it takes a long time to get to this point.
Yeah.
But this is the climax.
It's worth it, I think. Though.
Yeah, it is. And they're like, well, we have no other options right now. And Hooper brought aboard like is it a shark? Is it like called a shark cage?
Yeah, it's shark cage.
Shark cage. So he brings it over there just in case if he wanted to like
go
look
underwater.
Look at the shark, get some pictures or whatnot. I don't know if they even had underwater pictures.
Actually,
cameras, but...
you know what I've read too? Was like some of the footage in this movie was like footage of a real great white, and
Yeah.
that like they actually like it didn't end up going as planned because like one of the sharks got like caught in the cage or something like that.
Yeah.
But they ended up going with it and using it anyways.
Yeah, which is great because I think this is the part where it was an actual shark, and like, dude, I'd be fucking terrified.
Yeah, right.
As an actor, like, I didn't sign up for this shit.
Right.
So he's going down, and the other two are above to kind of monitor obviously the cage and see if it needs to be pulled up or not. And they had the idea like, we don't have anything else to do, and Quint asks Hooper what, because earlier Hooper says, I have stuff on the ship that can kill the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
So then Quint finally gives in. Is like, okay, well, Hooper, what do you have? He's like, well, I have what the fuck is it called? Do you have it written over there? Some sort of drug or poison. I think it's just a poison.
Oh yeah. They were gonna poison like a I didn't catch what it was, but they were gonna poison like a spear and then stick it in.
It's like a shark dart or a spear or something that I think he had to fill it up. We just put the tip in it or something.
Yeah, he
like
like
that,
dipped it or something. Yeah.
So he goes underneath and he has that. He's all ready. He's underneath. The shark's coming at him. You can see it, and like, dude, just the image of the shark coming at him is so terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine you being Hooper at this point, knowing this is your last resort.
You're in the shark's turf too.
Like you don't really have any cover. You need to get this done. So he's ready, and then the shark kind of disappears. He's like, well, what? Go. Bangs the back of the cage, and he drops the goddamn thing. And it's just like, oh. His hands are outside of the cage. I don't know why he's doing that in the first place.
Maybe for better aim.
Yeah, maybe, or just to be ready for it. But still, the arm's gone.
Yeah.
You know. So he drops it, and he's like, "Fuck!" And then the cage gets shredded. Like, this thing destroys that cage. Like, whatever that thing is made out of, it's not shark proof. It's not. And then he manages to escape and go hide. And like, I don't know if it's like a little cave or something like that, and the shark just loses him because it's more
focused on a boat.
Yeah, and it's trying to like break the rest of the cage open.
Yeah.
But he makes it out. We presume that he makes it out.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the group on the boat, and they're freaking out like, we gotta get it up. He's killing them. And then as they're pulling it up, the chain breaks. And they're like, oh shit. And then Quint's trying to do something, and Brody's like, we gotta like makeshift something, like put it somewhere. And they get up there, and they finally get the cage up, and Hooper's gone, and the shark is, we think, gone. And
he ends up jumping out of the water, right?
Yeah, like, dude, does this thing have like, I don't even know.
He must have gone pretty deep to get that much speed to just fucking...
Yeah, because they're like...
just flop on the boat.
They're thinking, like, where the fuck is Hooper? Like, he must be dead. And I think Brody is in, like, the cabin area. I think he's trying to get something. I don't know if I wrote it down. Yeah, well, regardless, the shark jumps up, tilts the boat down, breaks it, and... Brody is in the cabin area with Quint, and the boat is tilted like enough for them to slide down. Because, dude, this shark is smart. This thing is so smart. I wonder how smart an average shark is. Like, can they actually know
from what
these
I've
things?
Heard and read, they're pretty smart. But
like, holy shit, man!
Do some research on that.
Like. Wow, I kind of want to be like a shark expert now and learn about sharks because this thing is wicked smart. But yeah, they're trying to like keep from sliding. So Brody like manages to I think he holds on to something and he's still in the cabin. But poor Quint, man, getting killed by the thing that you hunt all the time,
right?
And like this was the part that like freaked me out as a kid because it is very graphic, and I'm surprised they were able to still pull off a PG rating with this because the amount of blood, the reaction, and just seeing everything just get torn apart. Because he literally slides into the shark's mouth and it's like, "Ha, I got you, asshole! I got you!" And blood squirting out of his mouth, and he gets ripped in half.
Like gusher.
Oh my god! And the shark goes away with Quint, and fuck, man, it's really really brutal, and I don't like. I remember it being brutal, but not that brutal. I guess with my adult mind now, and after watching all these other
Process it differently.
yeah, watching all these other horror movies, the thing is, like, this movie isn't really like a horror movie, but it is a horror movie. It's more of a thriller, you know?
Yeah.
Like a suspense or a thriller. Because Steven Spielberg isn't really a horror director, but he does, kind of
His movies
do
are still
stuff.
like tense and like
Yeah.
they.
very, very tense.
Yeah.
And, Brody has the idea now because they had one more tank on board, and earlier before they left, like even Hooper's like, you gotta be careful with these things. They will explode, and we'll all die. So there's one tank that's left. That's the air tank, I believe, or
Oh yeah, it's like an oxygen tank or something.
yeah. And then he like gives it to the shark. The shark obviously eats it because sharks eat anything. And he manages to climb up onto the mast because the whole boat is just
Underneath
sinking.
at this point, almost.
It's literally toast. Like he has like no other options. Like he's
Yeah.
gotta kill this thing now. So he takes the rifle that Quentin used earlier to shoot the shark, and he's trying to shoot the tank. Keeps missing because obviously the thing's not staying still, and with the water moving and you're moving and all this other stuff, it's very hard to aim on that. And then we get the other really good quote. Smile. Well, he doesn't really say bitch, but we know he does because it kind of cuts out. I wonder if they cut that out for that, but he says, "Smile, you son of a bitch." Shoots it, and the whole thing just fucking explodes into this
Just
awesome
red mist.
shot of gore from the shark everywhere. It's great.
It's like a balloon popping.
Yeah, literally.
Filled with like red paste and just guts and
like I want to do that. I want to just like put something
Just blow up a
together
shark.
and blow up something like that. And then we get the reveal that yes, Hooper is still alive, and they have to swim back to shore on this makeshift raft that they made with a wooden, I think it was 2 barrels. And
Yep.
it kind of just, we get credits rolling, but we see them like slowly approaching the beach. That's the end of Jaws. I think it's a movie that everybody should still watch. It doesn't have to be just on the 4th.
just watch it.
Just watch it, support it. I mean, it's still Steven Spielberg, so like he already has a shit ton of money, but support it anyway.
Just because it's such a like
It's great.
timeless piece of art, you know. Like everybody, like even if you haven't seen it, you know Jaws, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. Like everybody knows the theme, whether you've seen the movie or not. I do have the box office amount here, and it's fucking crazy for the time. $472 million. Dollars. 1975.
That's
dude.
crazy. Wow.
Damn, man.
That's a lot of fucking money.
And if you want to talk about the author of the book's cameo,
Oh.
do you remember where he was?
I'm trying to remember. Fuck. I remembered it at the time, and now thinking back.
He was the reporter that we didn't really talk about, but he was the reporter that was on the beach before the dude got his leg chopped off and killed. So he makes a cameo in here, which I think is pretty cool that they did that. I mean, he did the screenwriting, which is pretty cool. He added some stuff to it that wasn't in the book, but I mean, you kind of have to do that when you're making a movie.
Yeah, you gotta stretch it out a little bit.
Like even Stephen King does that with his movie adaptations if he writes it. And another really fun fact that is really cool but weird is that it takes an hour and 21 minutes before you actually see Jaws. This is a 2-hour movie because everything else is just water and someone acting in water.
Yeah.
Or a shadow or its point of view. And yeah, we already said it was rated PG, so
Yep. Which still, I think about that and what was the other movie we did a few weeks ago that was PG too, but it shouldn't. Was it the last movie we did?
was it Fade to Black?
No, not Fade to Black. Was it? No.
No, Tourist Trap?
Tourist Trap. Yeah, it was PG.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Yeah, no, yeah, Fade to Black is rated R. Yeah, because that was
That
in
was
the
like
80s, and
80.
Tourist Trap was 78.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was before PG-13 was like a thing.
But just a PG rated R.
Yeah.
Sorry, Puppet Master.
Aaron's over here slapping Puppet Master. That's okay. Blade deserves it sometimes.
So, Rotten Tomatoes. What
Right.
do you think is the tomato score for this movie?
Like for the critic?
Yeah, the critic. This would be the critic score, yeah.
Well, considering this is a highly like regarded movie, I'm gonna probably give it like an 80.
Yeah?
Yeah.
98.
98 and almost perfect. How is this not certified?
Right?
How is it not certified fresh?
Certified fresh.
We might have to go on there and change that. that should be a like straight up 100 to be honest, because it's such a masterpiece.
In the audience, like the what's the word?
Critic score. No,
not the critic score.
The audience score.
The audience score, not as quite as high, but still up there at 90%.
Okay. All right. Well, at least the audience knows what's good.
Yeah, right.
And they're not being stupid or anything.
Yeah.
But for me, if I was going to score this movie, as much as I would want it to be flawless, it's obviously not. So I'm gonna give it like a 9.5. I guess there could have been some things that could have been added.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the uncut version. But I don't know if that actually exists. If there is an uncut version of this movie that they actually have somewhere in a warehouse, please release it because I want to see the rated R version of this.
Right.
I want to see how crazy those kills actually were, and not just like one little frame of a leg somewhere.
Right.
But what about you?
Well, like I said, it's a timeless classic. Everybody knows it, even if they haven't seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
And for that reason, it's just, you gotta know it's like highly regarded, like you said, so I'm gonna give it a 9.5 as well, because not every movie, no movie can be perfect,
No, there could always be improvements.
But
as we said, go check out this goddamn movie if you haven't, and if you haven't, you're obviously living underneath a fucking rock. Like, get out of here and come back after you've watched it, and let us know what you think. If it's lower than a 9.5, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Stay out of here. No, I'm just kidding. We love you all.
Even if you have bad taste in movies.
Yes. I mean, we watch a lot of bad movies here, but are they, I don't know, in bad taste?
I mean,
Tourist Trap was technically a bad movie, but it wasn't really a bad movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
is there anything you want to touch up on before we call it?
Watch out for sharks.
Yes, if you're swimming, please watch out for sharks. And always wear a life jacket. Even if you're at a beach and you have your swimsuit on and you're not going on a boat, wear a life jacket.
Yeah. You don't want to get chopped up by some shark teeth.
I don't know if a life jacket would actually save you from that unless you're wearing like a Kevlar full bodysuit, inflatable. Oh my god. An inflatable
it just covers everything, including your face.
Swimsuit, and you're just like floating on top, and you're like,
and the sharks just like chewing on you like a toy.
Oh my god, that would be really funny. I want to see a movie with someone wearing something like that.
Chainmail swimsuit.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
But no, other than that.
Yep. Make sure to stay hydrated with some Liquid Death, guys.
Murder your thirst.
Murder your thirst. Their new movie will be coming out July 11th. Well, the premiere will be July 11th. Dead Till Death. We're not sponsored, but I mean, we are open to it. And just make sure you check out all of our socials. We will be having our next guest. What the hell date is it? Is it the 13th, I believe?
I'll pull it up right now.
Aaron's going to check on that because I always forget.
17th?
The 17th, sorry guys. Yes, the 17th. We'll be having Scorpion BLS come on here and we will be comparing the original and remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So that's also going to be fun. Next week, do we have a movie lined up for next week?
I don't think so, actually. Well, because right now we're like in the past, and this is gonna be the future. Well, this is gonna be tomorrow. So
Yes, you guys.
the next movie we're doing though is Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp. So yes, that will be next week, and we will be putting out the, the actual list of movies that we will be doing after the 17th. But I might post it earlier, just so everyone knows what's going to be going on, so we can get our next month going. And I think it's just going to be all camp themed movies, which I think will be really good. So I don't know, maybe Friday the 13th. I know we just did slashers. This is technically not really a slasher.
They all kind of like all horror movies. I feel like kind of fall in the same, like in multiple genres. You know what I mean? Like subgenres. Exactly. You know, like Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp can both be considered slashers and camp movies. You know what I mean? So
anything themed around camps is what we're going to be probably doing over the course of the summer. So this might be, instead of like a 1 month block, we might be doing 2 month blocks right now just to cover the whole summer. And it might not just be camp movies. It might just be like summer
seasonal
themed,
movies.
Yeah, stuff like that. So keep your eyes out for that. But I think that's about it for Jaws. And I love this movie.
I think it's fitting that the lights were blue too.
Yeah, I know, right? So this was the Barron's Hideout podcast. I was your host, Dustin.
And I was your co-host, Aaron.
And we'll catch you. Oh my God! We'll catch you guys on the next one. Come listen if you dare.